All right, everybody. Every couple of weeks, we get some bonus David Heurtel into the schedule to talk politics. This morning, we've got some politics to talk about indeed. New poll from Leger shows that Quebec solidaire is hurting. And not so bad news for a party without a real leader, the Quebec Liberal Party. David, welcome back to the program.
Always a pleasure, Elias.
So obviously, Quebec solidaire, they seem to be in crisis. Their co-spokesperson, Émilie Lessard-Terrien, abandoned the ship just 5 months after joining the team in her role, joining her in that role of co-spokesperson. So what is your take? And we've seen, by the way, the open letters in the media from different camps within Quebec solidaire. What's your take on the whole mess?
Well, first of all, I think it shows that the real, true Quebec solidaire support is showing. And it's very bad news for Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois because for the longest time now, these different parties, all 5 political parties, for different reasons, have been kind of parking lots for voters that don't usually are identified to these parties. Let me explain. For example, 60% of the Quebec solidaire vote, over 60% of the Quebec solidaire vote, were Federalists, which is, obviously strange for party's platform that says, we want to separate from the rest of Canada. So what you're seeing here is who actually wins from this hemorrhaging from Quebec solidaire is actually some of it is going to the Liberals and some of it going to the PQ. So you have more centrist Federalist voters, but center-left, going back home to the Liberals, just a bit, a few points, and actually center-left sovereignists going to the PQ. And what you're left with is the more extreme version of Quebec solidaire, and it shows yet again that Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois has not been able to grow the party beyond a very activist base. So it's bad news on all fronts.
But isn't he the guy, isn't Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois the guy that's trying to veer the party to the pragmatism side, right? So isn't that interesting, right? It seems like he's taking the oversized share, but those voters are abandoning the party at this time.
Yeah, it's kind of just words. I mean, can you point to one policy, one position that is more pragmatic, more mainstream? I mean, Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois has always been an efficient communicator, actually a very good communicator ever since the Maple Spring of 2012 that brought him on the national scene. But beyond that, Elias, if you look at the policies themselves, I mean, we are in a position where, the province is in the throes of a technical recession. The economy is going very much in a downward position. And what is Quebec solidaire's answer? I mean, it's basically old lefty tax and spend and more government at a time where Quebecers aren't there. So,
but that to me seems like NDP-esque. Yeah. It's not the Marxist-Leninist side of Quebec solidaire, which I know is in the inside. There's a faction there, right?
And it's going to come out. I mean, Nadeau-Dubois has been somewhat good at keeping that under wraps, but at the end of May, right, there's going to be this general council meeting, right? It's going to be the showdown on Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois proposing a more pragmatist version of what Quebec solidaire should be. But the extreme left of the party, and we saw it with that letter you referred to, that open letter you referred to, but we're also going to see, imagine during that general council meeting, there's going to be, the journalists are going to be talking about, okay, let's talk about the student protests.
Yes.
And you're going to have Quebec solidaire and a lot of people saying, we're all for it. And right now, public opinion is not with the students, especially with what I saw yesterday. I don't know if you saw it on the French side, the UQAM report, the
UQAM protester who is the admits they stole fencing and then says this belongs to planet Earth.
Yes, because they were somehow allowed to steal from a construction company because, and I quote, the construction company stole from the Earth. these materials. And
Yeah.
so this is the left. This is the far left. It's the same thing. Remember a few weeks ago, it was the Columbia protester in the U.S., holding a press conference to make sure that the university would honor the students' meal plan.
Yes, that's right.
It's going to a point where right now there's anger. There's a lot of anger in the population. That silent majority we kind of refer to sometimes. They're working hard. They can't make ends meet, and they're seeing people getting away with stuff that they can't get away with. Same thing. We talked Monday about the cyclist. Maybe you might don't. That cyclist that hit a kid.
Yes.
I know it's a far-fetched link here that I'm doing, but again, there's reaction to this because ordinary people don't, they obey the law and they pay their bills, and they're seeing segments of the society that they are under different rules than they are.
Well,
I think that's hurting the left.
Well, I'll give you this, right? The extremist parts of the left are sort of like rule of law is not necessarily a good thing. So I see
we're
that,
allowed
I see that
to break
connection.
the laws because we're right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the left. The far left says, well, violence, theft, whatever is allowed because we are right and you are wrong. And so a lot of people have their fill of this. But beyond that, I think the left right now needs a profound modernization. You mentioned the NDP. Projet Montréal is a bit in the same pickle. They've moved a bit to the center, but not a lot. But, the left right now is in a big problem right now, situation-wise, because they are not connecting. They're disconnecting with the ordinary voter.
So, David, listen, I have a moment here, and I want to talk federal politics just for a second. So the latest Nanos poll, get a load of this. There's a couple things to take out of it. One is this. So Nanos now has Liberals plus NDP plus Green Party, okay? Those three parties are at 43%, Conservatives at 44%. And it also shows that the numbers for Pierre Poilievre specifically are going up as preferred prime minister. What do those two things tell you?
Well, one, exactly the same thing we just talked about. What you would call the progressive left is just not working right now. It's not connecting at so many levels with the average Canadian who right now just wants help, with the basic kitchen table issues and doesn't see Justin Trudeau and the Liberals or the NDP being able to help out and not proposing anything real to help out. The anger is real. Poilievre has been very smart in positioning himself and taking advantage of this anger. Two, it shows that this big pre-budget, budget, post-budget offensive by Trudeau just is not working. And we will see by the end of June if the numbers stay the same. You might see Justin Trudeau saying, "Okay, my big push to reduce the distance between me and the Conservatives has not worked." And what you're seeing for the first time, and we've been talking about this for over a year now, but for the first time, Elias, you're seeing serious rumblings about a possible succession to Justin Trudeau. You're seeing all of a sudden Mark Carney. We've talked about him a lot before, but Mark Carney is giving more and more speeches. There's media rumblings. There's people inside the party that are all of a sudden not necessarily denying that there could be a succession plan in the works. So there's something definitely going on here, and this might, if Poilievre doesn't make a major, far right blunder, which could be the only, the Achilles heel here between now and an election, say September 25. If he doesn't go full MAGA or one of his key members, if he doesn't drop the ball on a far right type extremist blunder.
Yeah.
Beyond that, if the numbers don't start turning around before the end of June, you might see Justin Trudeau seriously consider stepping down
Well,
in time for a Liberal leadership race.
Well, let me tell you something, David. I think you're absolutely right that for the Conservatives, they have to be so careful not to prove any points the Liberals have been trying to make without success. And the other thing for the Liberals, I think, when I look at what the Liberals do, they are the ones who pull from U.S. stuff the most. They keep bringing up U.S. stuff all the time. So at a certain point, Pierre Poilievre is going to have to make that miscue, or their position, their argument isn't going to pan out. Have to leave it there, Mr. Heurtel. Thank you so much.
Take care, Alex.
Political analyst David Heurtel.